Welcome back to the podcast with your host, Samantha.
And I'm Alexa, and we're here to light up your life.
Today, we have such an extraordinary guest. His name is Ryan Lochte. He's an American Olympic swimmer who gains international recognition for his exceptional talents in the pool. Ryan is a 12-time Olympic medalist with 6 gold medals, 3 silver medals, and 3 bronze medals to his name. He has dedicated skills and he has a competitive spirit, and this has made him one of the most accomplished swimmers in the history of the sport. So we are so excited to have you on our podcast. It's just going to be such an amazing episode. And do you want to kick off our question?
Yeah, absolutely. So can you tell us a little bit more about how you discovered your passion for swimming?
So I grew up in upstate New York, in Rochester, New York, and I was always around the swimming pool. Both my parents at the time were swim coaches, so I was always the one like going to daddy work day and just being around the pool. And it wasn't until I fell into the pool, literally fell into the deep end. I had a snowsuit on coming in from outside the winter. And I fell in the deep end, and my dad saw me across the pool. He ran over frantic, being like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. He picked me up, got me out of the water. And as soon as he got me out of the water, I started bawling my eyes out, crying. He went to go get a towel. And as soon as he went to go get a towel, I jumped back in on my own.
No way.
Giggling. I was giggling, laughing. And I think that's when like my love and passion for the water started.
Wow.
And then I didn't start swimming until I was 8 years old. And I was watching the 92 Olympic games, and there was a swimmer from the US team, Pablo Morales. He won the 100 butterfly in 92, and I just remember seeing him after he won. He was congratulating the other swimmers, good sportsmanship, and then he was walking around the pool deck like waving, like signing autographs, taking pictures with the fans. And I was like, you know what? That is the coolest thing. I want to be just like that guy. So I think that's when my dreams and passion on wanting to become Olympic gold medalist and swim for USA started at the age of 8.
I love that. That's an amazing story.
Yeah, that's so cool. I was expecting you and your dad to be freaked out, especially after you jumped in the pool the first time, but you laughing and jumping right back in. That's wild.
Yeah, as soon as he saw me jump back in, he like ran back over, but I was giggling. He's like, well, you're good.
Wow, that's really cool. And so to be able to even get to the Olympics, you have to build up such a resilient mindset, and it's so much dedication and hard work. So what are some of the tools and skills that you had to learn and you had to, internalize to be able to become a champion?
Growing up, I wasn't the best. I know a lot of people, when they see like Michael Phelps, they see me or Katie Ledecky, all these other Olympians, they're like, man, these guys been just great their whole entire lives. For me, that was definitely not the case. I was pretty good in New York, but then when I moved to Daytona Beach, Florida, when I was 11 years old, the swimming atmosphere in Florida is 10 times harder than New York. So I was kind of almost at the top, and then I dropped to the bottom when I moved to Daytona, and I wasn't that good. I almost barely didn't get a scholarship to college. I was a late bloomer. And the thing that kept me going was I knew my dreams. I knew what my goal was going to the Olympics and getting an individual gold medal and breaking a world record at the same time. That was my goal. And a lot of my friends growing up, they were like, yeah, right. Going to the Olympics, get a gold medal. Like, one out of everyone in the entire world does that. Like, you can't do that. And I just fed off that. I was like, you know what? Watch me. Just watch me. So growing up in high school, when my friends wanted to go to the beach and go surfing, I didn't. I was like, you know what? I got to go to practice. Even though I wasn't good, I went to practice because I had a goal. I had a dream. And then I finally got the chance to go to University of Florida here in Gainesville. And I went on a scholarship. And even then I was bad in college. And but like I knew what I wanted to do. So there's times where after swim practice on my own, no coaches, no swimmers around, I would stay like 30 minutes after practice by myself and work on things that I was bad at, like working on my techniques, working on my underwater dolphin kicks, things to make me become better. And I did a lot of sacrifices, and made me become one of the hardest trainers in the world. Like I can out train anyone. I will go until I bleed, until like I just give out. And then I'll find somewhere else inside me and I'll keep going. And I think that was what really made me who I am. It was, I wasn't gonna stop until I reached my goal.
So
That's
you,
amazing dedication. Yeah.
yeah, so you had that vision of what you wanted to be like in the future. And then I want to go back to the point that you made, so many naysayers saying that you're never going to be able to do that. And so it probably just built up your mindset to be like, okay, I have this vision, I want to accomplish it. And to your point, you had to starve your distractions, you had to train every single day. And like you were saying, you were the hardest trainer as well. So do you think that combination of those three things really helped propel you to be a champion?
I would add one more to that. I was having fun. Swimming wasn't, I wasn't so focused on just swimming. When I went to the swimming pool, I was 110% focused. No one was going to mess with me, and I was going to whoop everyone's ass. That was my mindset when I went to the swimming pool. But when I left the swimming pool, I didn't think about swimming. I didn't want to. I had a different life. I went to go to the beach. I went surfing, hung out with my friends. But when it was the swimming time, I was focused. And I think that different living that like two different lifestyles, I think that's what helped me, and what made, because I was having fun. I wasn't like going home and looking up swimming. I wasn't like, so I wasn't so like overworked. So when I went to the swimming pool, I was really refreshed and I was just ready to train. And then after that, I was just going to be me, be Ryan, just go have fun.
Yeah, it's important to keep that healthy balance, right? Be able to de-stress kind of from what your main task and goals are, and have a healthy balance. So it's wonderful to hear that you were able to find that balance, and you feel that it actually helped you in your competitions.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. And so when you were training for the Olympics, what did that look like for your training? Did you have to, like, how many hours a day were you training? Were you writing your goals down of what you wanted to do? Were you visualizing them? I mean, I know that a lot of athletes have to visualize what they want to happen, kind of like you said, when you were inspired by the Olympic swimmer. So what did that look like for you on a daily basis when you were training?
So my first Olympics was in 2004. I went to college in 2002. So my sophomore year is when the summer of after my sophomore year is when I went to the Olympics. I never did the visualization. I never did anything like that. It was, I honestly, I trained so hard. And when they train, or when you guys are working out or anything, you're just like completely gassed. You're so tired. You're just like, I'm like kaput. That's when I like dig down deep inside and I find there's always something more in anyone. You just have to dig down deep and find it, and you got to pull it out. But once you do, you get that taste of it. And I was able to do that my freshman year. And once I was able to do that, when I was fatiguing or anything, I would find something in me and I'd get another burst. Like I just keep going and keep going. And I think that's why I can out train anyone, because I had no limits. But I never did so I left everything in the pool. All right. So when I went to the starting blocks or when I did anything, I just believed on my training, because out trained everyone. And I knew that in my mind, in my body. So when I went out to the blocks, like all I could do is just have fun, and be like, who wants this? Because you're gonna have to bleed in order to beat me.
Yes. Oh, I love that.
Yeah, absolutely. How are you able to push yourself to your new limits, both mentally and physically? How would you say you went about trying to push yourself to the absolute limit?
Well, you got to understand, like, I knew the people that I was training with, like, everyone is in the same boat. Everyone's getting tired. They're doing the same practice as you. Everyone's fatiguing the same way as you. Um, and then you just got to, like, it was my coach. He's like, there's always something left. And I really listened to it. And I was like, you know what? There is something left. You just have to find it. And once you find it, it becomes easy. But finding it is the hardest thing. You have to be uncomfortable. And I think that's what started it, is like I was able to find a way that I was very uncomfortable, and I was able to process that and turn it into like my weapon.
That's so true. And a lot of people won't get to that point where they let fear hold them back. And you didn't. You just kept pushing your limits, like she was saying, and then you just kept building up more resilience. And you're like, okay, if I could do this, I could do something else. And so that's pretty extraordinary. We love that. And so kind of talking about, we know that you were on the Ed Milet show. I was also on his show too. And I know you shared there that you're gonna say that you retired from your swimming career. So we want to know what you're doing now after a year. I can't believe the show is almost been a year since it's been out. So what does your life look like now? What is your passions now?
Oh my gosh.
Probably a loaded question.
I'm so happy right now. I'm probably the happiest I've ever been. You know, everything that I'm doing now is all about my family, all about my kids. And I couldn't be more happier. I'm like getting, because the mindset that I had for swimming, this was the biggest challenge for me, was transitioning that determination, that passion that I had for swimming, transitioning it over into like the real world, to the business world. Um, so I'm still trying to do that, figure it out. But I'm getting my toes in the water in a bunch of things that I'm doing. One of the biggest things that I'm doing right now, anything I do right now, is has to do with something with kids. Um, a big kid myself. I just want to help the younger generation out. It's not about me. It's not about us. It's about the younger generation. And I really want to make an impact on the younger generation. So what we created was, I guess you could say, it's like a little children's like Olympics for
Oh,
That.
yeah.
called AGC, the International Age Group Championship. And it's kids ages 10 to 16 from all over the world, the best of the best, coming together in one roof and competing. Because
Wow.
the kids don't have that opportunity to compete against the international kids. So we created this swim meet of that high end competition to get that atmosphere of what it will be like going to the Olympics. Because when people go to the Olympics, they, like, excuse my French, shit their pants. They're like, what the heck?
What is this?
Yes. And we want to get that atmosphere, that feeling for them already at a young age. So when they do get to the Olympics, they're like, hey, I've done this before. But we're doing a little twist with a little Lochte flair. We're going to make it fun, because you know what? If you're having fun in life or in anything you do, you're going to succeed, and you're going to succeed higher and higher and higher. So that's what I want these kids to learn. Like, swimming is just a sport, not your life. There's so much more to life than swimming. So when you're swimming, have fun with it. That's what it is. That's what's life all about, is having fun, enjoying the moment, and trying to make yourself better each day. So, like, in the background of like the swim meet that we're creating, which it's going to be December 13th through the 16th in Atlanta, Georgia, where the 1996 Olympic Games were held. Um, I'll be the ambassador. I'll be doing everything, but we're going to have like our video games in the background. We're going to have like if someone breaks a record or anything like that, we're gonna have like fireworks. Maybe not fireworks because I don't think you can have that in the building, but we're gonna like fire. Like it's just gonna be an atmosphere where it is very tough,
Welcome. Yeah.
but at the same time, it's gonna be like, you know what? We're just having fun. We're just doing what we love to do and race.
I love the high energy, love the motivation. I think kids are really going to be inspired by all that. That's amazing.
Yeah, that's really amazing. I love
So
that.
that's one of the biggest things I'm working on now. Another thing is like my dad growing up, I think he's one of the top 5 best coaches in the world. And me and him are doing swim clinics going around the country and world teaching kids how to swim. And I love that. I mean, I love it. And giving these kids like I guess things that I've learned throughout my swimming career, um, and helping basically just helping the younger generation out. So we're doing that, and what else? I have my own shoes. I design my own shoes with
Let's start about
uh,
that.
yes, with Riddick shoes. It's a high-end Italian leather company. Um, and I'm able to design whatever I want. So I created 2 pairs of shoes, high tops and a low top, sneakers and a sandal.
That's pretty incredible. Do you have your own website where you're selling those sneakers, or are you in stores right now at this point?
Yes, so you can go get them on riddickshoes.com and purchase there. I'm also like I'm redoing my whole everything. So like my websites, everything. So we're getting that up and running because I'm coming out with a new merch line and everything like that. So like I'm just having fun doing everything.
I am so excited for you because, your video with Ed Milet, you were in a place where you're like, I don't know what I'm going to do. And I know Ed Milet talked a little bit about how, you can do things with children and that's your passion. And it's like a year later, you're doing what you said you were going to do. And I think that is so important. If you say what you're going to do and you follow it and you make it fun and you make it part of, your pursuit to helping little
Yeah.
kids, like you were saying, I think that it's just so amazing to see what you've done in a year's time.
Yeah, I mean it's hard work and I'm still trying to get the hang of it of just like not waking up and going to the swimming pool, but waking up and opening up my computer and doing emails and stuff like that. I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. Uh,
Different.
but yeah, also creating my own sunscreen.
Ooh,
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it non-toxic?
Yes, everything is going to be clean. Um, there's going to be some things that are kid friendly, like they're going to have like a green like sunscreen or red, white, blue type. It's going to be very fun. But my dad had skin cancer, and me being around Florida and in the sun and swimming outside my entire life, I never used sunscreen. So I was like hardly any swimmer uses sunscreen because they think, oh, they're in the water, they're safe. No, definitely not. So we created the name is amazing. I freaking love it. It's called Block Tea.
Oh, that's perfect. That's
Yeah. Yes. So we're in right now, we're developing it and everything like that. And it's gonna be on where you can go on my website and everything and purchase it and everything like that. And hopefully in stores. But yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's really exciting. You have so many things going on, and I'm
I
just
know.
so happy that you found a new passion, and it still has to do with swimming, but just, you helping children. And
Yeah.
I think
I
that's very needed now.
always will be involved in the sport of swimming, no matter what. I mean, that's what seriously made me who I am today. Um, but at the same time, like I want to be bigger than swimming. I want to put swimming in everyone's living room. I want to make swimming bigger than what it is. And the only way I know how to do that is by helping the sport of swimming, but also going outside the box, going outside of my comfort zone and doing things that I'm not used to.
You're right. But
Yeah.
look, you're doing it now, right? It's like you're not used to opening up your laptop and responding emails, but you're doing it and you're creating this really bright future for yourself aside from, being an Olympic champion. That is really cool. And it's very inspiring for people. I feel like probably a lot of athletes felt like you did, where it's like, I don't know who I am because I made that my identity. And I think that's really important, going back to the fact that you didn't allow swimming to be just your identity. You kept that separate. And I feel like that's hard for a lot of people moving forward. So I commend you for doing that, because it's not easy. A lot of people just identify themselves as a mother or a teacher or a doctor, and you're encompassing that entire thing and making it a lifestyle for you.
Yeah, I mean, it was one of the hardest things. I went through some depression just because, yes, I didn't consider myself as just a swimmer. Um, I considered myself as more, but I didn't really prepare myself when swimming was over. And I think that's what really scared me, because I was like, I need to provide for my family. Like, I don't care about what I've done. Like, this is my life. These kids, my wife, like, that's my life. And I have to provide for them. And I didn't know how. And I was scared. Um, so I went through some depression, but like I was able to, like, Ed Milet, like, he helped me, like, able to turn to my friends, my family, and they helped me out. And I mean, and now I'm just starting to get um that little fire burning inside of transition over, not to sports, but like into my business career. So
Yeah, I can see that through your passion, just speaking about it and, sharing your vision of what's going to happen. So we're really excited for you.
Yeah.
thank you. Appreciate it.
It's amazing to hear how you were able to overcome some of those challenges, and that, like you said, ending your career and trying to pivot to new passions. And it sounds like you're a great dad. You have little ones. What is your vision for them? Are you hoping to get them into a pool? Are you hoping to coach them and help them do the same going forward?
I talked to my wife about this. I was like, man, I don't want to wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning and take her to the swimming pool. But you know what? I want my kids to make their own decision. Um, they have to learn how to swim no matter what. I don't care. That is like one of my biggest things, is like drowning is like one of the second leading causes of death in the world. And it can be stopped by just teaching kids how to swim at an early age. And so my kids are definitely going to swim. They love the water. Um, and my son is going to try out for a club team here. He loves it. And I'm like, hey, if you want to do this, I'm not going to push him. I'm just going to say, I mean, if you want to do this, you got to commit to it. All
Yeah.
right. To the season, if you don't want to do it, you're done. But if you start something, you got to finish it.
I think that's
Absolutely.
such a valuable tool to teach your children. Whatever you start, you need to put your all into it. Because a lot of times, I mean, for me growing up, I never saw my parents finish anything. And so I think that's really important to instill in your child. If you're going for something, you need to go all in, and you need to dedicate yourself to it. And if not, then it's,
Because you never know what's going to happen. Who knows? Like, he might hate it at first, but like in a week or two, he might like get really good and be like, you know what? I like this. Let's
yeah.
keep. So you just never know. I don't want to half-ass anything with them. You go big or go home. I mean, that was my motto growing up. And I want to just give it to them, being like, if you're gonna do something, don't half-ass it.
And there's such amazing skills that any sport really brings to build your character, right? So whether it's swimming or anything else that you're doing, it's an individual or a team sport. There's so many skills and so many things that actually build your character. I'm sure you've experienced that too, where swimming, I'm sure built your character to who you are today. And how would you say that that has applied to the world that you're in today? So I'm sure there's still things that the consistency or whatever you needed to do to really push yourself in the pool now apply to the world that you're living in today.
I think, setting my goals, my goal sets, and also my work ethic. I mean, I'm still trying to learn it, transition it over to the like the business side. But I'm starting to get the hang of it, and very time management. I was with swimming, you had a set time, you had to go there, you had to be there early. So I'm very early in a lot of mostly everything I do. And then just like my skill sets that I've learned. But at the same time, everything that swimming's kind of helped me and was able for me, making it easier for me to transition over to like the business side. Um, at the same time, I'm having fun doing it. And I think that's one of the most important things is you're not going to succeed very as well or as fast if you're not having fun and you're not enjoying what you do. And that's one of the biggest things that I was doing while I was swimming. Maybe I had a little too much fun sometimes. I think
I don't
everyone knows
ever have too much fun, Ryan.
Yeah, there's no such thing as too much fun.
a little too much fun. But at the same time, I wasn't just trying to better myself. I was trying to better everyone around me. I'm very a big believer on positivity. Like if someone's negative, I seriously will just walk away and be like, bye. I don't care.
Peace out.
It is because it is very contagious. And I see it firsthand in swimming when I was growing up in swimming. Someone being there and be like, oh, I don't want to do this, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, well, you're not gonna go far.
No,
And
that is
I
true.
just try to always be happy. I always try to help other people because if you help other people out, their motivation and their dreams and their goals are gonna increase. And if they increase, they're gonna help you increase.
And
So
that
that
mindset transpires into business too. Like for me, if
yeah.
I'm not helping and coaching my team the correct way, then they're not getting successful, but I'm not gaining success either. So it really starts with you and inspiring the people around you, like you were saying, to be able to be their best selves. And we look at that a lot. We look at people in our life who really brings us up, who, are doing big things, and it's law of attraction, right? It feels good to be around those people. And we had a guest on our podcast last week, and he was saying that, if there's someone in his business that is not performing and who is negative, they're like a cancer to the environment, he just fires them, he gets rid of them. And I think that's really
Oh,
important to take that into account in your life in general, like who's building you up, who's making you feel good, and who's doing the opposite, and really taking that inventory. So yeah, I think that's really important.
that's one of the most important things, and especially in this world. Like, there's so much negativity. Like, we just got to turn around and just be positive.
Yes.
It's important to keep things fun. And I love that. I think you've really mentioned that quite a bit throughout the podcast. And I think we lose sight of that. And I think just how often you spoke about it and you're like, I go into the pool and I just have a good time. This is my passion. This is my purpose. But I also try to have a good time with it. And I think that's so important. It's finding something that you are passionate about and
Mhm.
something that you can be consistent with, but still have fun. And I think that's so important. So just your mental health and your overall well-being and finding something that brings you that much joy. And, we can all hope to find something that we also feel the same way about. So I think that's very inspiring. Thank you, Ryan.
I
Yes,
know.
of course.
Absolutely. And just to wrap this up, what would be one thing you would tell our audience if they're starting a business or they're trying to go for that gold medal like you did? Like, what is one inspiring piece of advice that you would give our listeners?
Well, it's something that I tell these kids when I do swim clinics is something. There's kind of three guidelines, three rules that I've kind of lived by throughout my whole entire life. That's kind of helped me and shaped me who I am today. Um, and this might be a little bit more towards swimming for me, but you can turn it around for you guys, for anyone. Is one, listen to your coach. um Whether for me it was my swim coach, for you guys it could be your person that you look up to or anything like that. Listen to your coach because they've been doing it probably longer than you guys have. They're smart. And for me it was to listen to them because they wanted to help me. um Two was make sure you guys set short-term and long-term goals. Um, for me, my long-term goal was going to the Olympics, getting a gold medal. My short-term goals was those little things every day. Like I had a goal every day I went to the swimming pool of trying to do something better because those little things are going to add up. And then that big goal you have is what you want to do in 10 years. Where do you want to see yourself in 10 years? And so you always have a purpose. Every time you wake up, you have a purpose. You're not just waking up being like, oh, what do I do? No, you have a purpose, you have a drive. And then the third one, you guys already know what I'm gonna say is have fun.
Yes, we love that one. That's the best one.
So like those three things is something that I live by. And like after I stopped swimming, I was like, what do I do? And then I turned to I was like, you know what? Like, this is so stupid. Like, I need to start thinking like how I did for swimming, like my three rules. And I started taking those 3 rules and putting it into my business, my empire that I'm trying to build. And it's working so much easier. And I'm doing it with a smile. So hopefully it'll be good.
Amazing.
This has been such an incredible episode. So for our listeners, where can they find you? I know you're on Instagram. You have a YouTube. I know you're building up a website.
Yes, building up my website, Lochte.com.
Sneakers.
Yeah. I have a low top. The green one, the green high top it's kind of out there. That's kind of like a little bit more my personality. But yeah, check them out. Definitely my website, ryanlochte.com, or at Ryan Lochte for Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, you name it. So yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much for being on the show. For all our listeners, we're sending you so much love and light. And remember to like, share, and comment if you're gaining value from this episode, this podcast. Everyone have a great day.
Bye.